All right, now we're going to do a split ply weft join. Say that 5 times fast. I've come to the end of my weft here and I need to join a new one. And this is a great method to use. Currently I'm using 2/8 cotton. The overlapping weft join is just fine for this, generally speaking. If you have a thicker yarn though, and you want the join to be more invisible, this is a great way to do it. So I'm going to open the next shed and I'm going to bring this weft through just a little bit and I'm going to beat it in place. Now what I need to do, this is a 2-ply yarn, so I need to split the plies. So I'm only going to put 1 ply in. So I'm going to rotate this until it loosens. I'm just going to use the end of a pin to get in between the plies. You can use your fingernail, whatever works. Then I'm simply going to run that up along in order to split the plies. So now I've got my 2 plies of yarn, and I'm going to feed one of those plies a little further through that shed, the same shed that I did here. So now I've got 1 ply sticking out and 1 ply going through. So 2 plies and then 1 ply. I'm going to beat that in place. And then I'm going to throw my shuttle with my new yarn. This is the new weft. And I'm going to bring that up as close as I can to where that single ply comes out. So in this case, I can manage 1 thread. I'm doing plain weave, so I can do it 1 thread. So I've moved over just to the other side of the thread. I'm going to give myself a little bit of play just so that I can easily manipulate it. Beat that in, and the reason I beat it and close the shed is just to hold it in place. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to split the plies. So I'm going to twist that the opposite direction of the yarn twist. I'm going to get my pin in between the plies. Oops, or not. Doesn't always work the first time around. There we go. So I've got my pin in between the plies. I'm going to split those plies. Now I've got my 2 plies, and I'm going to keep the same shed, and I'm going to take 1 ply here, and I'm going to bring it up 1 thread past where I split the plies on the other side. So if you pull your thread like this gently, it'll separate. It just makes it easier to get into the right spot. I'm going to feed that through. So here's my 1 ply here, and I'm going to go 1 more thread just for a little bit of extra security. So this is the new ply that's coming this way. This is the new ply that's going this way. They're overlapping. You can see they're overlap around that 1 warp thread. I'm going to beat that in place. So now what I have is each of these sets is 2 plies, 1 from the old weft, 1 from the new weft. 1 from the old weft, 1 from the new weft. So where I brought this old one through, there was 2 plies of the old weft. Then for this section here, I've got 1 ply of the old weft and 1 ply of the new weft. And then continuing on, I've got 2 plies of the new weft. So when I wet finish this, and I clip these ends off after I wet finish, it will be basically invisible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it with a piece of a contrast color of thread, and we'll take a look at it when it's wet finished, and we'll compare it to the overlapping weft change.